What is up and welcome back. I'm super excited for today's interview. My good buddy, I'm telling you, when it comes to like having money, counting money, finding money, this dude is as good as it gets. Mr. Ryan Polimeni, welcome back, sir.
Thanks, man. Great to be back. Thanks for having me back. It's we do this at least once a year, man, and I enjoy it every single time. It's great to be back and spend some time with you.
Yeah, buddy. I mean, I always want to, one of the things I always have you back, by the way, too, is because I really want to, I'm enjoying, like right now, what we're doing is we're really documenting the journey that you've been on, which has been a crazy, wild ride, by the way, over these last several years since we met in 2018, 4 years ago. Man, you got a lot going on. What's changed for the people that don't know you and where you've been and what you're doing and what's going on now, which is unbelievable, by the way.
Yeah, honestly, Cody, I think the biggest change for me has been a shift mentally from being the salesman, going out there and constantly peddling to becoming the CEO of my company. And a lot has changed internally in our infrastructure. I focus a lot on infrastructure and team building. It allowed me to become incredibly, more efficient at what I do great. Man, since I've met you in 2018, we now do retirement workshops for 3 VA hospitals. And NASA. So super exciting, some really big stuff. Yeah, dude. So in the next 6 months in a row, I've got 6 workshops for NASA. So it's been crazy, man. But that's the kind of stuff, though, Cody, that people understand. Like, I've been at this for 13 years, right? It wasn't something that just happened overnight, but there's a formula to getting to these kind of things, that we've been teaching a lot on. And really, again, building the infrastructure, we now have our own internal marketing company. And so I really started focusing on things differently, man. It's allowed myself and my team to really be a lot more effective and efficient. Before when I met you, I was doing, $5 million in annuity sales. And last year we're over 13. Now it's personally, this year we'll be somewhere around 30, just internally in my firm and not including the rest of our agents. So, but that's a result of the relationships that we've made, right? Doing the right thing consistently for 13 years and really building a solid brand in a niche market that's allowed us to really have that kind of success. So a lot's changed, man, since 2018, since I first met you and got to speak on stage at 8%, which is great. But it's been a fun journey, man, and it's just part of the journey, right? There's still a lot to go.
Yeah, I was just in your neck of the woods for the UNC Duke game just the other night. Yeah.
I saw that.
Which was really
Excellent.
Cool. How do I get a tan like you, man? That's what I've been wondering.
It's Italian, man. It's just a natural olive Mediterranean skin. I don't know what to tell you.
I got to go back and change that gene, whatever that is, man. So I love it. How does someone get in front of NASA and start doing workshops and helping NASA as like the go-to money man? Like how did
relationship, man.
I mean, what's funny is as a kid, you probably wanted to be an astronaut, and then you grow up, and then you start helping manage money for astronauts. Obviously they do a lot more than that, but it's just kind of funny to like think through that dynamic.
It's been fun. And I'll tell you, it's just relationship building a brand in a niche market. I know a lot of people that follow me on Facebook and on YouTube. I talk a lot about building a brand in a certain niche, right? In a demographic that's underserved. And, I've been doing that for now going over 8 years. And so it's led to relationships. And so our relationship brought me to another relationship, to meet someone inside NASA, doing a lot of work before I got into NASA, doing a lot of marketing to, NASA employees. And so naturally going through the process and doing the right thing and knowing my stuff, allowed me to get introduced to the right people, man. And that's what a lot of people don't get, Cody, especially as you can start kind of getting up to this higher level financial planning. It's marketing is key, obviously, right? You gotta get in front of people, but relationships are equally as important, when you're trying to get into these different facilities. I mean, again, NASA and 3 hospitals. I do 4 retirement workshops a year for 3. That's 12 workshops for 3 hospitals. That just happened again through relationship, led me to another relationship, on top of the marketing that we do. You know what I'm saying? So you have to stay consistent with your message. But that's how I got into NASA, man. It's been a lot of fun. I'll give you an example. One of my clients, I know last year when they had the splashdown, right? You saw like the rocket came back down to Earth or something from one of their NASA. And I was on the phone with a gentleman about a half hour after that happened. And I was talking to him how excited I was. That's really cool. He's like, yeah, you know the balloon, that the parachute that comes out? He's like, I designed that. Literally, like 30 minutes after the splashdown, I was on the phone doing financial planning with the guy who designed the parachute that exploded and like brought it down. So it's cool, man. You know, this journey is interesting. I never thought years ago I'd be having these kind of conversations. It's really cool.
Yeah, for real, dude. I'm gonna have to come back and hang out, and we'll have to go back to the cheese. You know, we don't have those in Southwest Missouri. So
you're welcome anytime.
Yeah, it is kind of funny. You talk about it, how you mentioned this. And how important relationships are. And we tend to, I've started to realize these last 6 months, 12 months, how much more important they are as you're really starting to grow a bigger, and like what you're talking about, which is really impressive. I mean, one of the things that I'm super excited about and why I love having you around is you're someone that loves educating and bringing value. You're a natural teacher at heart.
Yeah.
Right. And it always shows when you speak and teach and do workshops, you know, you can just tell. And so as a side note, I'm super excited about the event that we're really doing together, that you're doing. And then I'm just special guest speaking on Friday, March 18th from 11 to 4 Eastern time, which is the Advanced Markets Bootcamp, which I'm super excited about. Do they go to ryanpolimeni.com to learn more info about that?
Yep, ryanpolimeni.com. You can see it under one of the trainings tabs. We'll have actually probably the first thing that pops up on your screen when you come up. Huge event, you know, and it's been exciting, Cody, because, you know, since you and I met in 2018, you know, I back then I didn't have a training system. I didn't really have it. Just I was up there just teaching, man, because I love to do it. And it got to the point where, you know, a lot of people asked me about coaching and training. And at the time, I didn't have an open platform. And now we do. And, you know, we have over 100 people just in our training platform that we work with on a monthly basis now. And so it's been great to be able to teach these kind of concepts that we're talking about, really high level concepts, man. You know, I could never teach insurance the way you do and what your team does and what you guys have done, you know, but what we've done is taken the annuity, the AUM, the really big IULs and whole life cases, and we're teaching over 100 people every single month on how to really elevate their game. That's really what this boot camp is, man. It's about how to learn the processes and the sales process that goes behind it, but also the mindset, the marketing, you know, how to build an infrastructure in your office, all the things that allow you to build a multi-million-dollar firm like we've been able to do. And I'm just taking everything I know and just throwing it all into this boot camp. Man, it's 5 hours, you know, and so we've got a lot to talk about, but it's going to be really fun because I get to really just open up, you know, which is not something I get to do very often, especially on YouTube, right? You can do a little bit, but to spend 5 hours where we can really open up and just talk about it. And this is exactly what we do. Meet my team. This is the person that runs this department, so on and so forth. So it's going to be a really good opportunity for a lot of people to learn how to get to that next level, that maybe you're at $1 million in annuities and want to go above. Maybe they're not doing AUM to go above, you know, so all those kind of things would be a lot.
Yeah, that's one of the things I'm excited about too. And you always do a good job of, like, you open up about like lead generation, marketing, branding, choosing and dominating your niche, like getting set up in the sales process, you know, like selling bigger cases and designing the cases. Like that's important stuff that people have a lot of questions about, that you always do a really good job of breaking down. So I'm super excited for that event. I'm going to be joining you as a special guest speaker. So thank you for that. We've also got Jeff Rediger. Rediger as a marketing expert special guest on that as well, which is awesome. Okay, so if anybody has questions about that, go to ryanpolimeni.com to check it out, and hopefully we'll see you March 18th. As far as like what they can, if someone's curious, I'm like, okay, why would I learn more from you? Why would I join that? What can we expect? What's your thoughts there?
Because, Cody, like most people in our industry, for, you know, I would say the first 5 years of my life in this business, I got my butt whooped. You know, and I went through a lot of ups, I went through a lot of downs, and I'm really open about talking about those things, right? Because I know some people come in and they have monster success from day one. Bro, that wasn't me. Like, I struggled for a long time. And so, you know, again, doing something like this allows me to relate to somebody who's been there, right? And just like I was, and what it took to kind of, you know, elevate my game, but also just go through the evolution of business, right? And really what it takes to go step by step, because one of the things that we teach a lot of is look, I know you want to do $10 million in annuities. The reality is you're not going to do them next year. It takes time, right? It takes time to develop the skill, to be able to speak the right way, deliver the right message. And so I really want people who attend this workshop to really understand that it is a process. And I'm going to walk through a lot of my ups, a lot of my downs, what I did to overcome that kind of adversity to get, to that next level, how we built the relationships to get into places like NASA and the VA. So it's more than just sales. I can teach somebody how to sell an annuity in an hour. It's so much more than that. And that's what that's the kind of message that we're always trying to deliver and teach people about.
True. Yeah. So true. What do you think if you had to look back over your career? Okay. You said 13 years, I think, total. Yeah. What's been the biggest mistake you made when it came to transitioning to trying to find and sell bigger cases? Is there like a glaring mistake that stands out?
Trying to sell a product instead of a strategy. I really fumbled hard early on, right? It's a lot of people who are selling annuities. They try to sell a product. You should buy this annuity because it's this bonus. You should buy this annuity because it's this A+ rating. I don't sell like that. I sell based on a strategy. An annuity is a part of an overall larger strategy. And I wish I knew that even 10 years ago, because if I had known how to build a complete holistic plan for somebody and actually a strategy, I would have been doing $10 million a long time ago. But it took me time because I had a great mentor about 5 years ago that started kind of, putting this in my head, and it took me long because I'm slow to really pick up on a lot of stuff. And so the last few years, really the biggest change has been becoming a holistic advisor instead of just being a product salesperson. And that to me really held me back for a long time to really peak and, kind of hitting, I don't want to say my full potential, I'm nowhere near there, but to really get to this level of 10 million plus, you're not going to do it peddling a product. And I think that's one thing that people make a lot of mistake on. That's my mistake. Yeah,
that's strong. Why shops? Like everybody always talks about prospecting and how do I find bigger cases and that kind of stuff, right? And you're going to teach that a lot on the 18th. But why workshops for you? Like, why was that the prospecting method and really the niche that you've owned and crushed it, by the way?
Thanks. It's a good question. I like growing by multiplication versus addition. And what I realized early on in 2015 when I started in the seminar world was I could keep buying a mortgage protection or a life insurance lead and I could go see one person at a time. Or I could spend, if I'm going to spend $2,000 on mortgage protection leads, I could spend $3,000 and fill a room full of 30 people, right? And so it allowed me to grow my calendar, right, and my client base with multiplication versus just one client at a time. I now have a room of 30. And being in front of a room, or now we're doing everything webinar based, being in front of 30, 40 people at a time allows me to deliver a message the way that I want to deliver it, educate people on the things that they need to hear, but also have the ability to speak the right way, deliver the message, that have a call to action. And what I love about it is, what I love about workshops is that when it's all said and done, 45 minutes later after we start, I now know what those 30 people know, meaning I taught them taxes for 45 minutes, right? So I know that they know a little bit about taxes, but not enough where they can just walk away and not have to do anything with us, right? So it's enough, the message is enough, it's clear, it's concise, it's nerve-wracking for some people, right? Where they have to go, I need to go sit down with this guy. There's something to this. And so, at the end of the workshop, I would have, if I had 30 people in a room, I'd have 25 people book an appointment that night. So my entire calendar was full for the next 2 weeks. And so I liked growing by multiplication versus addition. And now, like, we got a workshop next week. We just started promoting for it on Friday of last week. This morning, we hit 200 registered for our next webinar. 200. I still have over a week. So, it's the right message. That's the thing that people need to understand when it comes to marketing. It's the right message. It's a simple message, but it has to be delivered clearly, concisely, with a purpose, with a call to action. And I think it's where people make mistakes on when it comes to their marketing.
Yeah, I do too. How big do you see this thing getting? Like, where is? Because you're still, how old are you?
I'm be 35 next month.
I mean, you're a lot older than me, but you're still only 34. Okay, so well, it's only 3 years, right? I'm 31
Yeah,
now.
I know.
Okay? It's kind of crazy. I was in my 20s and you were like 30 when we first met, right? Which is nuts. Where do you see this thing in a decade when you're about to turn 45?
Yeah.
Where do you see this thing? How big is this thing going to get?
Yeah, we'll be $1 billion company, but it's not all going to be annuities. We'll have $1 billion under management. We'll probably be pushing around 100 million a year, if not more, in annuities. And then obviously a ton of life. But there's no doubt, because another thing that I've learned is, growing by multiplication versus addition, right? I could probably get this thing on my own to, the next decade. It's about 150 million assets under management. If I really keep pushing that side of it with annuities, but we're going to end up going through the acquisition side of things, and getting my way to $1 billion. So in the next decade, we'll be $1 billion RIA minimally under management.
It's insane. I love it. What advice for an agent would you give if they are like considering, like they're just open to new ideas, new information? They're struggling with what they're doing, but they're open to ideas and information about, like, okay, I can make in one sell, like Ryan does, what I would make at, Applebee's in a whole year, or whatever, right? Like, what advice would you give to that person?
Well, you got to understand your market. I think the most important thing is, if you're looking to get into, let's just say the annuity side, right? So if I'm going to answer your question, if you say, I want to make a transition to the annuity world, which we get calls every single day, say, how do I do it? The reality is this: number one, you have to know who your target market is, right? You have to know who you're going after. Because if you don't, it's like the shotgun approach, right? You're just kind of shooting it out and going everywhere. I like the sniper rifle approach, where I'm targeted on a certain thing, and so I think the thing you have to figure out is, number one, what's your target market? Who do you like working with? And if you start figuring that out, you can start building a brand around there. But even if you're in the insurance world and you're out there selling mortgage protection, life insurance like I did, the first thing you need to do is find a mentor. Find somebody who's doing what you're doing. And that, for me, Cody, really changed my life, because in 2015, when I was doing what you just asked, contemplate, like, how the heck do I go on from this? Like, I was doing mortgage protection, life insurance, and wasn't really happy, kind of getting bored of it. I was like, I got to find something else, right? What's the next thing? And I was lucky enough to find a mentor who was doing $20 million a year out of his office in annuity sales. I was like, wow, this guy's got it going on, right? So I spent 1.5 years working directly with him every single day. And that really allowed me to learn the processes and learn how to build a brand in a specific niche market, and really kind of understand the sales concepts and strategies and all the stuff that goes with it. So I think, find something you like to do, find an industry you like to work with, find a mentor, man. Find someone who can accelerate your growth.
No doubt.
I'm not smart enough to figure this thing out, Cody, by myself. I didn't find that mentor. I'd still be trying to figure out how to spell the word annuity. It's like, you need to have someone in your life that can excel you to that next level. And that's what we try to do.
Dude, you've never had an ego, like you've, and yeah, we all do from time to time, sure. But you've always been like the guy that just wants to win no matter what it takes. Like, I just hired somebody in our company. I just hired an external coach for 5 figures that we paid to work with us and our team for 90 days on something specific that we need to improve. And the first 2 calls have been legendary, simply because we got our ego out of the way and said, all right, it's time to pay to solve a problem, right? Like you have over the years. And now everybody listening too, by the way, can do the exact same thing by going to ryanpolimeni.com and joining us on the 18th for that private, super advanced markets bootcamp. Well, dude, appreciate your time, brother. Love spending time with you, and super excited for what we're about to do here coming up, technically next week. Yeah, excited for it too. Thanks for having it. Thanks for being a part of it, man. And every time you and I get to work together, it's something special happens, man. So thanks for the time, and thanks for allowing it to happen. I love it, brother. Okay. Thank you, Ryan. You guys are watching and listening, man. I'm telling you guys, okay. This cat knows his stuff. Jump over there, get registered. We hope to see you on the boot camp next Friday. Hey, if you enjoyed this, I got another one you're going to love. It's right there. Click on it. See you in there. There's some people that join the industry and they just kind of dabble, right? They just kind of work They just kind of buy leads. They just kind of make calls. They just kind of make sales. They just kind of make money, and then they end up at 92%.